All right. Hello, everybody, all you Move, Think, Smile followers, and all of our superstars in our work life balance. Oh, my Facebook group. It's Adam and Elea coming at you live on this wonderful afternoon. And today we've got a crazy episode for you, and we're calling it Work Life Balance. Oh, my. And I think that's going to resonate with a lot of people.
Yeah.
When you put those words together, because one of the terms that you hear more and more and more today is work-life balance. Those three words together, or I need more balance in my life. I need more balance with this. I need more balance. I need more balance. I need more balance. And people know they need it, yet they're just not getting it. And what this is leading to is it's leading to a lot of crazy things. And I think it's really interesting, Ellie. It's like, why is it as career-driven professionals? We go to school, we're taught these leadership strategies, we're taught various approaches to success, winning and doing all these things. But when it comes to, I'm going to just say, people call it balance. I'm going to say our health, right? Mm-hmm. But when it comes to our health, we're usually taught a generic one size fits all approach that really just leaves our self-care on the back burner. I mean, yeah, we've got some success going on, and then we end up in this trap, and we're going to get into this a little bit. It's kind of a catch-22. It's like, well, in order to take care of me and my health, I'm going to have to step back from my successful career. Or, if I want a successful career, I've got to sacrifice something. So in today's episode, and Ellie's really going to lead the way here on this one, is we're really going to dive into 3 steps to achieve success without having to sacrifice your health, your family, your personal time, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest conundrum is really it seems like it shouldn't be this complicated, right? But it just is. Like the fact that we've been struggling with this topic for decades. And I think we're actually getting worse at it, not better. And so it's really fascinating. It's like you would think take some time for yourself, the generic advice, let's get some exercise, eat healthy, that should not be as complicated as it is. But as it turns out, we have this deeply embedded belief that, success requires sacrifice. And that gets us into trouble in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it does.
And we think we have to choose, that there is no in between. There's no gray area.
I experienced it firsthand. It's like I literally, even though my kids live in the same house, they grew up without me. Mm-hmm. They did. They're in their late 20s now, and we have a great relationship and rebuilding about all the time I miss with them, because I was so focused on if I could just make this one thing happen, then everything in my life was going to be amazing. If I could just make this extra sale, if I could just get this proposal done, they need it tomorrow. And it was just answer these emails. And it just became, and it ended up rolling into me not taking care of myself, right? Putting self-care on the back burner, not getting the doctor's visits, not doing exercise for myself, just not doing these things. And you start to wear down, and then the motivation goes down, but you're still there. It's like, if I just get this one thing, then I can have this big dream. I can get an RV and travel across the country, and I'll have all this freedom and free time. And it never happens. And it never happens. Instead, we're sitting there and we're succeeding. Our business is doing well. Our career is doing well. Yet our life, there is no balance there. It's so heavy on the success side of things that there's just no life to enjoy. And my question, guys, is what is life, or what is success, if there's no life to go along with it?
Yeah, I mean, so many people I talk to, there's only so much there is absolutely something to be said for taking pride in your work, for wanting to do a great job, for being dedicated. But as I always like to say, a lot of times our biggest strengths become our biggest liabilities when they're left unchecked. And, I think people can sustain this kind of push through, sacrifice, family time and important holidays and important events, don't go to the doctor, just push that off, even though you've got some weird symptoms going on, just push everything back and keep working. And you can do that for a while. I mean, some people do that for decades, but for most of the people, that we really see and talk to, it's like, once you get to this like above 40 stage, you start to realize that it's like that kind of carrot is not coming. Like you have to give it to yourself. Like there is no one that's going to give you work-life balance. You must give it to yourself. Right. You've got to create it. It's like you're waiting for it to come, or you're waiting for that that success to get there so you can stop sacrificing. But again, it's very elusive, and we're always chasing it. Right. It's kind of like that what is it? The bunny rabbit that's always just around the corner, right? So, so we're going to jump into the three things that, really get people stumbled here. So Adam, you really alluded to that first one with your last comment.
So it's basic, guys. If you're looking for more balance in that work-life equation, you want more life in that work-life balance equation, then here are 3 steps you can implement right now to achieve success without having to sacrifice and actually balance your health, your family, and a demanding career. All right. And step number 1, Elea, is recalibrate your success mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
And
so go ahead.
No, and I think this is what's interesting, and it's that catch-22 I was talking about earlier. And what ends up happening is we think, we're high achievers. We put all of our work into this. We get all of our time into this. Our family doesn't understand that we're providing them this great life, and there's a lot of stuff going on here. And we are so afraid to step back that the sky's going to come falling down, right?
Yeah.
But we know that if we don't, there's a good chance that our foundation, which is slowly starting to crack, it might start crumbling here soon. And you can keep bending as much as you want, but pretty soon you're just going to break like a paper clip. And so it's like, how do you get in there and have the time for self-care, right? And still keep productive?
Well, I think the one big thing is just to really realize how much society and how much we've bought into what society has been telling us, which is this, we just hear it over and over and over, right? Like hustle while they sleep, hustle harder and all of these kind of things. And so it's like we work these insane hours and we don't take time off. And then it's like, okay, always push harder than the next guy because you've got to prove that you're dedicated and you're worthy, right? Mm-hmm. And you'll take time off later. And again, there is that fine line between being engaged and excited about your career or pushing and forcing because you feel like if you don't, that the whole thing is going to fall apart. There's a massive difference between those two. So one of the first things that you have to do is recalibrate your success mechanism, which really means you got to start figuring out what are those belief systems that you have that are running these behaviors, right? That are causing you not to take the time to address your health, not to take the time to spend with the people that, are most dear to you, right? We only get one time around at this. And as you said, we'll never get that time back with, your kids, right? We'll never get that back. And so really looking at, okay, what are the beliefs that are driving my behavior? And what most people do is that they don't really they don't question those behaviors at all. They just go full force and believe that that's the only option there is. Just got to work harder. We get these blinders on, right?
No, we do get the blinders on, and I think what's really, it kind of blows my mind because I've got the blinders too. I think we've all had them, and the success mechanism, it's all about time, and we like to use this analogy with our clients. And if there's this giant mountain, okay, and at the top of the mountain is Freedom Summit, and at Freedom Summit, it's financial freedom, it's freedom from health problems. It's freedom from relationship problems. It's freedom, right? It's freedom. It's get out there, do what you want, have fun, enjoy life the way it was meant to be, right? So we're like, okay, if I just bust my ass and put all my time into this one thing, I'm going to get up that mountain quickly. And in the beginning, they do. Man, they start making fast progress. So they get about halfway up the mountain. Where's the halfway right there? About halfway up the mountain. And then all of a sudden, they get stuck inside what we call the corrupted caverns.
Yeah.
And these caverns are very elusive because they're very alluring. There's this little monster in here called the burnout beast that has a lot of nice things to say to you. And you come inside, it's like, oh yeah, it's good, man. Come on in here, check this out. But what he's doing is that you're being diverted to the backside of the mountain to like time suck swamps. Next thing you know, like you're not getting anything done. It's like days go by. Like, how come I still haven't made progress with the thing that I really want to make progress with? And then next thing you know, it's like the dysfunctional family desert, right?
Yeah.
They might not be horrible at home, but they're definitely not working the way that you could be. You're not having an impact with the kids that you want or with the significant other, the husband, the wife, the spouse, whatever it is. And
hey, Adam. Yeah. And I got to jump in just because, you're talking about relationships. And I read this pretty amazing stat today from the American Academy of Matrimonial Lawyers that said, preoccupation with work is one of the top 4 causes of divorce.
Yeah.
And in couples where at least one person is constantly working, the divorce rate is 55%. Like that's crazy high. And again, just for work, it's not like they're arguing all the time or this, that, the other. It's just that the disconnection that is created from when we work all the time.
Yes. Yes. And so you've got, okay, so you got time suck swamps, the dysfunctional family desert. That leads into like the foothills of fatigue, right? So you're just not, you know it. You're out there killing it. You're doing everything you need to do, but you're just not operating.
You're wiped.
You're wiped.
Yeah.
You know, you're just not there. I mean, you know, you may not be on the pavement yet, but you know, you're bending and bending and bending, and that foundation is starting to crumble, and pretty soon it's going to break in half. And so, in order to really do this, to get to the top of Success Mountain, to the Freedom Summit that's up there with everything we want, it's a simple recalibration in your success mechanism, and it's really it's so simple, and people are like, oh yeah, right, whatever. But it's serious. It's put your health first.
Yeah.
Putting your health first is like printing money. I am not kidding. I am not kidding. I'm in the best health of my life. I'm in the best shape of my life. I feel absolutely fantastic. I got a little pandemic here going on right now. I'll be honest with that. But you know, and our business is booming. Like it's like things are just doing so well right now, despite all this crazy stuff that's going on. And I firmly believe it's because we put our health first. And by putting your health first, what that does, and I think, Elea, most people forget that the brain is a living organ, right? And in order to produce the good stuff, it needs specific nutrients. It needs specific things. And I'm not going to go on a whole nutrition kick here or anything like that, but you've got to learn how to feed your body and your brain, right? There's the move part, then there's a think part, then there's a smile part, and there's a reason that those 3 words are in that order. So, you know, recalibrating your success mechanism, and how does that work? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah. So basically it's really getting clear and understanding that it's like, I don't have to believe that success requires sacrifice.
Yeah.
And again, as simple as that sounds, that's really tough because you've spent your entire life identifying with pushing harder, dedication, work. And so it feels like, you know, utter death to actually consider that the other thing could be possible, right? Or that we could change this without like our entire world crumbling.
Right.
And so again, yeah, the big thing there is being able to, you know, really question that and see if it's true.
So this is all about work-life balance. So get off the time path. Mm-hmm. We think that it's the amount of time that we put in that's going to get us up to the top of Success Mountain, the Freedom Summit. Instead, we get lodged in the corrupted caverns and time suck swamps and dysfunctional family desert and the foothills fatigue and all these things out there. So come out of the caverns. You don't have to go back to the bottom of the mountain. This is what a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, if I get off this path, I'm going to go right back down to the bottom. It's like, no. You're going to come right out where you are. We're going to traverse over. We're going to jump on this new path called the energy path. Okay. And this energy path, there's a couple things going on there, but basically you're going to jump on this path and it's going to take you straight up to the top of the mountain, exactly where you want to go. And it's understanding that it's not your time that gives you success. Your career needs fuel. It needs gas, but the gas that you're putting into it right now is bad. And the gas is you. Okay.
Yep.
So we're going to you got to recalibrate that success mechanism. That leads us into number 2, Elea, which is becoming greater than your environment.
Yes. So this one is really key, and it's really about taking that responsibility. Like I mentioned earlier, you know, a lot of times it's like we're waiting to have permission to get this work-life balance, right? To get more integration in our life. And we can't wait. We have to do it now, and we have to be the ones to take the responsibility for it. And for the most part, you know, we feel trapped. A lot of people feel trapped. It's like, well, you know, I have a tough boss, or my employees, you know, there are no good employees, or, you know, this is just how things are in my industry, or, you know, I'll take time off later. And really it's about saying, you know, okay, there is always going to be something that I can react to. There's always going to be a fire I have to put out. There's always going to be, you know, this feeling of my work is working me instead of vice versa, unless you flip the power, flip the control switch, right? And really start creating and come from the perspective that you have the control, you have the power. And it's not these outside circumstances. It's what's happening within you that is beating you down, right? So you have to become greater than your environment. And in order to do that, you have to believe that you can become greater than your environment, and that it's not these outside forces that are keeping you stuck.
Right. Well, I think we could boil it down and make it simple. Reacting, constricting versus creating and expanding.
Yep.
Right. So when you're in an environment and you're reacting to everything going on around you, things happen and you react. Things happen and you react. I mean, obviously, things are always going to pop up and you got to react. But if that's the way you're living your life every day, right? You're living in a reactive environment. The environment is literally controlling you. It's controlling how you feel. It's controlling your body. It's controlling the stress or non-stress in your life. Like, it's controlling a lot of things. So you've got to become greater than your environment. Okay. And you got to move into a state of creating, into a state of expanding. If you look at the universe, like the primal rule of the universe is growth is expansion.
Yep.
Right? Growth is expansion. So you've got to learn, you've got to figure out how to get out of that state of creating and change to, or get out of that state of reacting and change into a state of creating. So you become greater than your environment. Does that make sense?
Yep. I think that's a great analogy. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let's move on to the third one.
Yeah. And the third one is make your balance your business. Make your balance your business. And this is where I think a lot of people, they hear this and they're like, what? It's like, yeah, we said earlier, putting your health first is like printing money. So if you make your balance your business, stop making your business your business, stop making your career your business, that will fall in line. That stuff happens automatically. I mean, think about it like this. In the grand scheme of things, there's kind of like 4 areas in life. You've got money, family, health, and fun. All right. There's 4 things. And most people will put money and or fun up there at the top 1 or 2. And if you're really good like I did, I was able to make my business a lot of fun and a lot of partying back in the days. And then you want family there, and then health is down here. And we almost always do that. What we're suggesting you do, we've proven time and time again with our clients, is that if you take health and make health number 1. So basically make balancing health. And I'm not talking about spend all 24 hours a day on you, but I'm talking about learn how to get another 10, 12, 15 hours a week for your own self-care.
Yep.
It can be done. It feels weird at first because there's a lot of habits in there that you've built out over repetition. Right? You've got to break these old patterns. You've got to break through this old wiring. You've got to disconnect some stuff. There's going to be a lot of withdrawal. Your brain's going to be going, what the hell are you doing? I do not want to go there. Because, think about it. The hardest thing about change is not doing what you did yesterday.
Yeah.
It is. So,
and for a lot of people, it's the worry, the guilt, the concern that happens when they try to step away from work, that worry is so intense that they're like, let's just go back to work so they can ease that worry that they're not working.
Yeah.
Right. And so what I think is most important about making your balance your business is you've got to realize the productivity myths that we have running around. You have to realize that working 70 hours and 80 hours a week is really not as productive as you think it is. Right. There have been a lot of studies that say, once you hit about 55 hours, it doesn't matter if you work 70 hours, you're only getting the same amount of done as the 55 an hour guy.
Right.
Right. And so you might as well take that 15 hours back and use it for personal time, use it to recharge, use it to have this quality of life. But for a lot of people, it's really, really tough to be able to give themselves permission to do that.
It's so funny. It's just like when you see it happens with anything that in the body that creates a chemical reaction, right? Because our body is a chemical factory. It's not really a machine, right? So it's easy to attribute this to food and to kind of relate over. So a great example is with grains. People eat grass-based seeds. There's an agent in there called gliadin, which is an opiate, which binds to the brain. And so people will say, when I stopped eating rice or stopped eating corn or I felt like crap. Mm-hmm. Like that was bad for me. My body needs that stuff. And what they didn't realize is that no, your body was going through withdrawal because you are no longer feeding it the opiates that are in those, basically what seemingly whole, good plant-based foods are doing to you. And so the same thing that happens when you change a behavior or an activity. If you're used to every day at a certain time period, let's say you go into the office and at 10 a.m. you light up your email, you're like, oh God, there's another 100 emails I've got to take care of today. I'm never going to get to creating my presentation that I want to do, or creating this new thing, or getting out there and doing the growth part of your career, right? That you want to do, getting out there and doing new stuff. You're reacting, you keep reacting. And so let's say tomorrow You work at home, the power's out, can't get online. You're like, oh, well, I can't get online. And around 10 a.m., maybe 10:30, 11, all of a sudden you get mad at the laundry, right? Because your body's used to getting angry at that time every day because that emotion produces a certain chemical. And so you open up your teenager's bedroom, your door, like, what the hell's going on in there? Aliens invade or what's going, And so around that time period, your body's looking to refirm what it did yesterday. So you literally have to make your balance your business if you want to be able to, and it's kind of cliche, but if you want to have your cake and eat it too, it's possible. It really is possible. And if that's something that sounds like, you guys want to do, then, come on over to movethinksmile.com/talk and, book a call to talk with either Elea or myself about injecting more balance into that work-life equation, getting more health in there, getting more life in there. So you're feeling better, right? So you're getting more done in less time, on and on and on. But it's really about, putting your health up there on top, making your balance your business so you can have your success, so you can have your health, so you can have some time to spend with your friends. And if you like them enough, spend some time with your family too,
Yeah, I think the biggest thing too is just really asking yourself, how much longer do you want to continue the way that you've been living, right? Yeah. Sacrificing everything for your work. How much longer do you want to be doing that? Because I think for me, when I was in that place, I kept thinking again, like the end was right around the corner. The end was right around the corner. 10 years later, 15 years later, I still had no balance. I still had, I was still just struggling in all of these areas. So it's really asking yourself, do you want to be in this same spot next year? At this time, do you want to really be able to get your life back so that you can, attend those really important family events, so you can have a better relationship with your spouse or partner, so you can get your health back and be able to do things that you really want to do, those trips, those vacations, those hikes, right? A lot of the people that we work with are really realizing that if they don't make a change, their retirement is going to suck. They're not going to have a quality of retirement because they will have run their health into the ground. Even though they'll have a lot of monetary success, what is that if you can't do the things or you can't enjoy that monetary success? That's one of the most hollow places and lonely places that you can be.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's not fun. It's not fun. It's like Scrooge. I'm not saying you guys are Scrooge, but I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of like Scrooge. Like all he wanted to do was, stack up cash, and have the success to do all these things. And our success mechanism gets wired by that, gets wired that way. And it's not like we mean to do it. It's just like, that's what we're exposed to. We're exposed to all this media. We're exposed to all this education. We're exposed to all this social norms. We're exposed to all this stuff that says success equals success, right? Your career equals success. And it kind of does, but it kind of doesn't, because I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I think it was Forbes that published this study, the results of this really big study, that out of every 100 people watching this, 47 of you are going to be forced to retire early because of health problems, because you put your health care on the back burner, neglected self-care for so long that finally, boom, you're done. Yeah. I mean, you're not dead, but you're done. You're like, just not going to. I'm going to get the numbers wrong, but it's around 28 or so, make it to retirement, but don't have the energy to actually enjoy it. Yeah. Or I'm sorry, they make it to retirement, but then they start dealing with health problems. And then the rest, which is like somewhere in the 23 to 25 range, make it to retirement and don't have the energy like they thought that they were going to fully do the things they wanted to when they were planning their retirement in their 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
And so if that's not a wake-up call, that's like almost everybody.
Yeah.
So guys, come on over to movethinksmile.com/talk. Let's talk about injecting some more life into that work-life balance equation.
Yeah.
We are really, really good at it. We've had success with all of our clients. You can look at the interviews that we've done. You can look at all the testimonies and all that kind of stuff. And, if you're serious about having more balance in your work-life balance without your work suffering, come on over, movethinksmile.com/talk. Pick a time on the calendar. and you'll be chatting with Ellie or myself, and we'll get down to business, and we'll look at where you're at, what you're struggling with, where you want to go with not only your career goals and how you want to fuel your career with energy, but how you want to fuel your life with energy. And, we'll talk about a game plan to make that happen. And if we think we're a fit to work together, we can talk about that. And if not, that's fine too. There's no cost for the call. So guys, go on over to movethinksmile.com/talk, and let's chat soon. Elea, any last parting shots?
I think it's just, reminding everyone that, balance happens today, not tomorrow. Experiencing life is today, not tomorrow. Don't wait. Life is too short. And we know, and we have been where you are, and we also know what it's like on the other side to feel like you can have your cake and eat it too. You can have success. You don't have to, feel like you have to sacrifice one or the other. There is a way to integrate both. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, no, there is. And let's movethinksmile.com/talk. We'll talk about that. And until that, guys, we'll see you back here soon on our next live episode. If you have any questions about anything we talked about, please comment below. Or at least hit the like button, thumbs up or something. Let us know that you liked it. If you don't like it, that's cool too. You can put the little angry face on there. Let us know how we're doing. And if you guys like these episodes, and if there's something that we're not touching on, or we're not going deep enough on, or you want to know more about, just put it in the box below, comment, and we'll do that as well. Talk soon, guys.
All right, guys. Stay healthy.